Hey there, in this video I will show you how to create this insane text animation in Premiere Pro. Right people, now in Premiere Pro, as you can see, I have created the text already and I have placed it at the middle of the program monitor. Also the length of each text layer is 5, 10, 15, 20 frames, but if you want you can extend it or shorten the length of each layer. That is entirely up to you. Now to start with the animation, make sure that the cursor is at the very beginning of the first text layer. Then I'll go to the effects panel and then type 3D. I'll grab the basic 3D effect and drop it over to the first text layer. Then again I'll go back to effects and type down directional blur. I'll grab the effect and again drop it over the layer. Now to save time and not do it again for every individual layer, I'm gonna go up to effects, select the basic 3D, then select the directional blur, press Ctrl and C to copy them, then I'll go to the timeline, select the rest of the text layers and Ctrl and V. And like that I'm gonna apply those two effects to the rest of the text layers. Right, now when the effects have been applied, I'll select again the first layer and go up to the effect control panel. I'll scroll down to basic 3D and create keyframe onto swivel. Then I'll change the value to -90. Then I'll go up to directional blur and create keyframe onto direction and blur length. From here I'm gonna change the direction to 90 degrees and also I'm gonna change the blur length to 10. Then by holding shift and pressing the right arrow of your keyboard, I'll move 10 frames forward. Then I'll change the swivel value back to 0, go up to directional blur, leave the direction to 90 degrees and then change the blur length to 0 as well. Then I'm gonna move another 10 frames forward and create our third keyframes. This time the swivel will be 90 degrees and the blur length again gonna go up to 10. So let's play it from the beginning and see what we've got so far. It looks really nice, and by adding the motion blur it makes the animation to look more professional and more natural. But to make it a little bit better, what I would do, I'll go back to the effect control panel, scroll down to the 3D effect, select the first keyframe, right click and ease out, then go to the last keyframe, right click and ease in, then select the middle keyframe, right click and Auto Bezier. So I'll play it again. And it looks much better, it's much smoother. Now again, to save time, I'll select all these keyframes, Ctrl and C to copy them, then I'm gonna move to the next layer, make sure you click onto the effect control panel, and then I'll press Ctrl and V to place them. Like that, we're gonna save time creating all these keyframes all over again. But this time the only thing we have to change is the degrees onto the swivel. So for example, instead -90, the first keyframe will be 90. Then I'll move to the last keyframe and this time this one will be -90 degrees. And I'll play it again and I'll show you what I mean by that. So for example, the first animation finishes from right to the left and the second animation starts from left to the right. And that's what we want from this animation. And I'll play it again. Boom. And it looks really nice. And now, not to waste your time, I'll speed up that part of this video because basically I'll be copying and pasting keyframes and only changing the values. And at the end, I'm gonna go through each text layer and show you the exact values I have used for each animation. So starting with the first layer, I'm gonna go at the beginning, and as you can see, the first keyframe of the swivel, it's -90. Then the middle one, it always stays 0, doesn't matter what. Going to the last one, it's 90 degrees. Then when we go to the next layer, the first keyframe of the swivel, it's 90 degrees. As I said, the middle one, it stays 0. Then when we move to the last one, it's -90 degrees. Then going to the third text layer, the first keyframe, it's -90 degrees. The last keyframe, it's 90 degrees. Then moving to the fourth text layer, the first keyframe, it's 90 degrees. The last keyframe, it's -90 degrees. Then moving to the fifth text layer, the first keyframe, it's -90 degrees. And the last keyframe, it's 90 degrees. And moving to the last layer, the first keyframe is 90 degrees and the last keyframe, it's -90 degrees. So when I play it from the beginning, we've got this amazing text animation and it looks really cool. And people, that's all for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did so, please smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. It means the world for me. Also, if you want to find out how to create a highlight text effect in Premiere Pro, you can watch the next video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.